lovely sports fans to your one-stop shop for global sporting stories. This is DDM Sports Central, and I am here to take you on a ride through the exciting world of sports. What do we have for you on today's edition? On today's edition, top 20 men's and women's players in tennis. Osimhen brings out the beasts in Jose Mourinho. How did he do that? Stay tuned to find out. Super Eagles to take on Ghana in Unity Cup. Plus, league previews from major leagues around the world. All these and more when we return. First of all, Happy New Month to everybody. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. This is still DDM Sports Central. And so we begin with tennis. Money remains the name of the game. This is why the top 20 men's and women's players have sent a letter to the 4 Grand Slams asking for more prize money. In it, the players requested a meeting to discuss players receiving a greater share of the revenue generated by the major tennis competitions in the calendar year. Then that is the Australian Open, the French Open, the Wimbledon, and of course, the US Open. Prize money as at last year's Wimbledon was £50 million, exactly double the amount offered in 2014. Now, within this space of 10 years, prize money for first round losers increased from £27,000 to £60,000. But players have frequently pointed to the vast revenues generated by the Grand Slams and feel they deserve a significantly larger return. I thought they said only Nigerians liked money too much. Okay, we see them now. Anyways, in the year up to July 2023, the All England club, AELTC, had a turnover of £380 million. But once the cost of running the championships were deducted, the operating profit was just under £54 million to be exact. Nearly £49 million of that went to the LTA, as the AELTC has agreed to pay the governing body 90% of its annual surplus until 2053. According to the organizers, costs include prize money, employing more than 8,000 seasonal staff, preparing and developing the site, and supporting other grass court events. Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen said increased prize money would be particularly welcomed by lower-ranked players who can struggle to make ends meet at other times of the year. The Chinese world number 8 said, "I think that's going to benefit all the players, not only the top players, especially those that work hard during the year and need to get paid from the Grand Slams and have to survive." I tried to do that in a Chinese way, but it didn't work. He also said, "We try to do what we can and then let's see what the gods bring to us. But at least we're trying." The plight of the tennis top 20 players comes little more than 2 weeks after the Professional Tennis Players Association, PTPA, launched legal action against tennis governing bodies, citing anti-competitive practices and a blatant disregard for players' welfare. The lawsuit by the players group, which was co-founded by Novak Djokovic, seeks an end to what it describes as monopolistic control of the tennis tour, as well as financial compensation from the ATP, the WTA, the International Tennis Federation ITF, and the International Tennis Integrity Agency ITIA. Now we move over to football, the exciting world of football. Let me say other sports, not the exciting, but football is the king of them all. And we move over to Spain, where we have had the Copa del Rey. Barcelona has qualified for the finals of the Copa del Rey. They qualified after a pulsating game which saw them edge out Atletico Madrid 1-0 with a goal from Ferran Torres. The first leg had ended in a dramatic 4-4 draw, so that Barcelona edged the Diego Simeone-led side 5-4 on aggregate. Though Atletico thought they had got an equalizer late in the game when Solot had the ball at the back of the net. But then, the goal was ruled for offside. Too bad. I'm sure that sent very serious spears into the hearts of Atletico Madrid fans. With this win, Barcelona will now face Real Madrid in the finals to make it an El Clasico after 10 years, which means the last time we had an El Clasico in the Copa del Rey was in 2015. Real Madrid had qualified after beating Real Sociedad in a nail-biting fixture which saw the game go into extra time, and Real Madrid carrying the day with a 5-4 aggregate scoreline. The Catalans Barcelona remain unbeaten in 2025, stretching their runs to 21 games. Those guys are on fire. Same Atletico Madrid were the last team to defeat Barcelona just before Christmas to go top of the table. Okay, from the Copa del Rey in Spain, we move over to England where some matches took place in the EPL. Enzo Fernandez's 50th minute goal was enough for Chelsea to defeat Tottenham 1-0 in an EPL game played on Thursday. Liverpool is gradually, in fact, there's not like gradually again, they have their hands held firm on the EPL trophy because they defeated Everton by 1-0, while Man City added much salt to the injury of Leicester City by thumping them 2-0. Newcastle defeated Brentford 2-1. Aston Villa defeated Brighton away from home 3-0. Ipswich Town beat Bournemouth away from home 2-1. Southampton drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace. Eberechi, I'm sure, will still be reveling in the sweet performance he had in the game before this one. We brought to you a report of how Arsenal, through the returning of Bukayo Saka and new signing Merino, defeated Fulham 2-1. While Manchester United, I feel for them though, they lost 1-0 away to Nottingham Forest. Now for this weekend, of course, this weekend is packed with exciting games. Everton hosts Arsenal. Ipswich Town will take on Wolves. Crystal Palace will welcome Brighton. West Ham are at home to Bournemouth. And then we will have Nottingham Forest, who have been doing very tremendously in this year's campaign. They'll be traveling to face Aston Villa. Tottenham Hotspur will welcome Southampton. And then Brentford will host Chelsea. Fulham will want to see how they can slow down the pace of Liverpool, and they'll probably give hope to Arsenal in terms of the league championship title. They will play host to Liverpool. Manchester United, let's see how they go when they host Manchester City in the Manchester Derby. And then Leicester City are at home to Newcastle. We look at the EPL table and we see that Liverpool lead with 73 points. Arsenal are second with 61 points. Nottingham Forest, fantastic form, are third with 57 points. And then Chelsea are fourth with 52 points. While Man City occupied the fifth position with 51 points. And then we look at the top scorers chart. Mohamed Salah of Liverpool leads the goal scorers chart with 27 goals. Mo Salah is on fire this season. Erling Haaland of Manchester City follows in second place with 21 goals. And Alexander Isak was not, he's doing good. He's doing good this season. He's not holding anything for granted. He's in close third with 20 goals. And so we move to the La Liga, where we have games as well in the La Liga. Rayo Vallecano will host Espanyol. Girona trade tackles with Deportivo Alaves. Real Madrid will welcome Valencia. Mallorca will host Celta Vigo. Barcelona welcomes Real Betis. Atletico will hope to shake off their Copa del Rey semi-final exit when they travel to face Sevilla. Las Palmas will take on Real Sociedad, who will also be hoping to shake off their Copa del Rey exit. Leganes will host Osasuna, while Valladolid will play Getafe. Villarreal will take on Athletic Club, and then that will be all for the games from the La Liga. Looking at the La Liga table, We see that Barcelona are on top with 66 points. Real Madrid follow closely in second place with 63 points. In this one, anybody who loses sleep, the other person will take over. Atletico Madrid are third with 57 points. And then the top scorers for the La Liga, Robert Lewandowski. Who would have thought this guy at his age now will be topping the scorers chart? Robert Lewandowski is topping the chart with 25 goals. Kylian Mbappe, surprisingly, is second with 22 goals. Ante Bodemir of Osasuna is in third with 15 goals. So we drive down now to Germany, where we have some games as well in the German Bundesliga. Augsburg will take on Bayern Munich, the current league leaders. Bayer Leverkusen will travel away to take on Heidenheim. SC Freiburg will welcome Dortmund. Mainz will take on Holstein Kiel. RB Leipzig will host Hoffenheim. VfL Bochum will take on VfB Stuttgart. I told you once that as I was growing up, VfB Stuttgart used to be my favorite club back then when I was following the German Bundesliga on NTA. Werder Bremen will take on Eintracht Frankfurt. FC Pauli will welcome Bayern Mönchengladbach, while Union Berlin will take on Wolfsburg. For the Bundesliga table, Bayern tops with 65 points. Leverkusen is second with 59 points. Safe to say that Bayern may not be dropping any points anytime soon. They may have taken the lead. Frankfurt is third with 48 points. Now the top scorers in the German Bundesliga, Hurricane, will hope to better his lots because at the moment he's topping the goal scorers chart with 22 goals. Patrick Schick of Leverkusen is second with 17 goals. Jonathan Bokot of Mainz is in third with 15 goals. And then finally in the Serie A, for the leagues we are covering, Genoa will take on Udinese. Monza will welcome Como. And then Inter will be traveling to face Parma. Fiorentina will travel to face AC Milan. Lecce will play host to Venezia. Empoli will welcome Cagliari. Torino will play Bologna. Atalanta, featuring our own star, Ademola Lookman, will welcome Lazio. Roma will tackle Juve, the old ladies. While Bologna will take on Napoli in the final game of the Serie A. On the table, we have after 30 games, Inter topping the table with 67 points. Napoli is second, very close, with 64 points. Atalanta is just 6 points behind with 58 points. Okay, we go over to the story that made the headlines in Turkey. Osimhen brought out the beast in Jose Mourinho. How did he do that? Well, Osimhen was obviously disappointed after the Super Eagles World Cup qualifier against Zimbabwe right here in Uyo. The Eagles drew that game 1-1 with the Zimbabweans getting the equalizer in the 90th minute to send spears through the hearts of Nigerian fans. I couldn't watch the game immediately after the equalizer, to be honest. But then Osimhen got back to Turkey and hit a brace for Galatasaray to knock Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce out of the Turkish Cup in the quarterfinals by defeating them 2-1. Osimhen is indeed a hard worker and would have been the man making the headlines, but trust Jose Mourinho to grab a share of the headlines. We hear that Jose Mourinho grabbed the face of the Galatasaray coach after his team's defeat. Jose Mourinho did not stop at that. It was reported that Jose Mourinho not only grabbed the face of Okan Buruk, but also briefly squeezed his nose. Jose Mourinho, what's happening now? Remember those days, those of us who use those old TV, where we'll be turning the stations, manually like this. So the guy probably was so furious that he had to practice that. The Galatasaray coach fell to the ground clutching his face. I wonder what penalties and fines he would face this time around. Baba must have gotten too angry that he thought he was watching those olden days television that he wanted to change the station manually and angrily. Mourinho, please, in the name of God, take it easy. So we go to the Unity Cup and we hear that the Unity Cup is back. and it will hold in May this year. The Super Eagles are set to take on Ghana and then either Jamaica or Trinidad and Tobago. And this will hold on the 28th and 31st of May. The Super Eagles were second the last time around. In fact, they were second behind Ireland at the inaugural edition back in 2004, which also featured Jamaica. I'm sure Nigerians will not be interested in this competition as the fate of the Super Eagles qualifying for the World Cup hangs in the balance. But then, if you ask me, this will serve as a good preparation for the Eagles for the qualifiers come September. Okay, we move to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Here are some of the NPFL games to look out for this weekend. Lobby Stars will see how far their own stars will try to outshine the stars of Sunshine Stars. Bendel Insurance will host Enugu Rangers. Niger Tornadoes will hope to blow away the Warriors from El Kanemi. Plateau United will host Kwara United. The People's Elephants Eimba of Aba will welcome Abia Warriors. Rivers United will welcome the reigning league leaders Remo Stars. Nasarawa United will take on Aqua United. Katsina United will host Bayelsa United. And then Heartland of Owerri will take on Kano Pillars. Heartland, it's been topsy-turvy with them. They blow hot today, they blow cold tomorrow. Shooting Stars will welcome Ikorodu City. The top three in MPFL table, Remo Stars are on top with 60 points. Rivers United is second with 52 points. And then Abia Warriors is close third with 50 points. The top scorers in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Abdullahi Yusuf of Nasarawa United tops the scorers chart with 14 goals. Followed by Rabiu Ali of Kano Pillars with 11 goals. Sunday Megwa of, I hope I pronounced that right, Sunday Megwa of Abia Warriors is in third with 10 goals. Now finally our final sports story for today. The Niger Delta Sports Festival, the maiden edition, has begun in Akwa Ibom State. And believe me, if you saw the opening ceremony, you will agree with me that it was indeed a very colorful opening ceremony right there in the city of Uyo. It was all glitz and glamour despite the torrential rains that poured for hours before the competition was opened. One would say they were showers of blessings, ushering in the maiden edition of the Niger Delta Sports Festival. The ceremony was declared open by the chairman of the National Sports Commission in the absence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who traveled to France on an official visit. Alhaji Shehu Dikko charged the athletes to replicate the glitz of the festival's opening ceremony in their performances during the actual competition. In the audience, we had the governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, representative of the Delta State Governor, Senator Emmanuel Agwarivodo, and then state sports commissioners from the 9 states. We also had members of the National Assembly and top officials of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NEDC, led by the Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Omuko. Led by the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Basi Eno, no fewer than 10,000 persons defied the downpour to throng into the reborn sporting facility at the heart of the emerging metropolis of Uyo, which is gradually becoming the hub of sporting activities in Nigeria. In one voice, they sang and danced in the rain to usher in a competition poised to become the major talking points in the discovery of future kings and queens of sports in the continent, especially since the Niger Delta reserves the right as one that gave birth to some of the best sporting heroes the continent of Africa can ever boast of. The festival torch was lit by Olympian Enefio Odohubong and was supported by festival ambassadors including former Africa Football of the Year Victor Ipeba, Shehu Ogunkoya, Paralympian Patience Igbete, and Tamunosiki Atorubido. Afrobeat star Fino Fino brought the night to an entertaining close with some of his hit songs which got the athletes cheering, chanting, and dancing. The competition, which is among the 9 states that make up the Niger Delta, will run for 8 days. And with that, we have come to the end of today's edition of EDM Sports Central. We hope that you enjoyed all that we brought to your doorstep for your viewing delight. Do not forget to like, share, and comment on this edition of EDM Sports Central and also on previous editions. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diaspora Digital Media. Follow us on Twitter at Diaspora DDM, and then follow us on Instagram, Diaspora DM. In fact, we are on all social media handles. Until I come your way next time. But then before I close, a big shout out to a colleague of mine who lost his father in the course of this week. I'm just saying, I wish I could emulate your voice, but know that you have a voice that is internationally recognized. My brother, in that voice, I wish I could say, take hard work and keep going, keep going. If our loved ones won't be lost at their own way, trust me, they will want to die. Take hard, bro. And on that note, I say arrivederci, and I hope to see you when next I come in the next edition with another exciting package. Until then, I remain your host with the Sparks. Which do have a lovely sport to be ahead. Bye for now.